everyone, and welcome back to the Retro Reef. So we just had some breaking news kind of posted about Google Stadia. So Google Stadia, for all of you who should know, is a streaming service released by Google where you can either, I believe it was a Fire Stick, or they would send you something, or the Google Stick, their Google Chrome, whatever they use. And then they would send you a controller where you could pair any other Bluetooth controller to it and stream video games. I remember when it first came out, the idea was actually really interesting because we haven't seen anything like that. So it was really cool to be able to have the idea of, hey, I can just turn my TV on, stream the latest game, and not have to fire up a console, purchase a new console, any of that. But if you remember correctly, it came with a price. Not only are you signing up and paying for a membership, but then you also had to buy the games. So I didn't understand the purpose, because if you look at, I would think of like Steam on the PC as like a similar thing, except on a computer. I mean on a TV, and that's free. So I didn't really understand the purpose and kind of what was going on here, but it never appealed to me. So that being said, I'm going to go and pull up the article right here. So I think there's a few articles out here by now, and this one was just the first one I was able to pull up. And we're able to see here on CNBC that Google is actually looking, and they announced they made the difficult decision to begin winding down their Stadia streaming service. And they said that they were trying to enable like an immersive gameplay experience at a massive scale, which I remember them saying, and they were trying to have it at the fingertips. And it's a cool idea because you could even have it installed into a TV previously. I think was the idea everyone was thinking of getting. You just get a nice TV, gaming TV, and have it already installed and ready to go. But something, as I was reading through this and taking a look, let me see if I can find it. There was a really funny quote. At least I thought it was pretty funny. I don't know if I can find it. Where's it gained? Right here. Hasn't gained the transaction with users that we expected. That line right there to me just shows that Google really just didn't have a clue what the gaming industry was like. I think, behind me you could see I'm obviously a big collector. If you haven't seen any of my videos before, and I'm a big physical copy collector, and I like to be able to have access to my games. That said, I still do play a few games like Fall Guys, which is online. I don't mind buying an all digital game. I just kind of move towards having a physical copy if preferred. So that's just me personally. But the gaming industry as a whole has a mixture, I would say, people in my situation, kind of the older gamers, I would say, and maybe some younger ones who just like to collect and physically collect it. But people are looking, free-to-play games are trending almost everywhere. People don't want to have to stream through a Fire Stick, pay to do that, and then pay for the games. At that point, they're just going to buy a console. They're going to buy an Xbox, a PlayStation, a Switch, even though I know those games, specifically Nintendo, typically aren't, are only on Nintendo systems. But I just don't understand what Google was trying to get at here, just from the sense of it didn't launch with all the capabilities, really, that they were thinking, speaking that they were going to have 4K streaming eventually, no lag and any FPS issues. And I don't have one personally, so it's hard for me to kind of justify and speak that that's there. But based off all the videos I've seen, it shows that it just wasn't what they originally visioned. So I just wanted to kind of go here and just have a conversation about, I'm not shocked that they're closing their doors. And I think the whole gaming industry as a whole thought that Stadia would be gone months ago, would have been gone months ago. If not a year or so ago. I think once it launched and it didn't really catch traction after, the 6-month mark, I think people kind of said, like, that's it. It's done. But there's a separate discussion I wanted to have here. And I know it doesn't directly link, but I want to move over to the Razer Edge 5G. So this is a new handheld through Android. And this is just a random article that I was able to pull up. But I'm starting to see, and I think we all are in the gaming industry, it's just this, a lot of these companies moving towards streaming video games. Even in the Nintendo Directs, you see the cloud-based versions, and I laugh at that every time I see it because I just know it's not going to work. Me personally, at least as a gamer, and I may be in the minority, so feel free to call me out if so, but I don't want to be connected to the internet to play a game. I don't want to feel the need to have to be connected to the internet to play the game. I don't want to have to fire up my console and not be able to use it because it has to connect to the internet first. I want to be able to purchase something, purchase a game, put it in and play it. I know that's really simple, but I think these streaming consoles and these streaming platforms that we're seeing are all having some similar issues where they're either not getting the traction that they initially thought they were going to get, or they're having issues with battery life if they're a handheld. I know the Switch even has that, depending how long you play it, what game you're playing, and your brightness. The Steam Deck, I'm looking to get my hands on a Steam Deck eventually, but the Steam Deck I'm hearing can really drain the battery depending on the game you're playing. And I'm just taking a look at this Razer Edge. I think the 5G capability, and a lot of these products starting to come out, what they're moving towards, they're cool ideas, but I don't think we're fully there yet from a technology standpoint. I think we're at a point where we could start taking baby steps and maybe take a step forward, which is what we're starting to see. But I mean, I just there's too many issues right now. There's too much uncertainty. There's people who did, the few people who probably did purchase for Stadia. I do feel really bad for them. Who maybe have games sitting on that platform. I don't know what they're planning to do. I'm going to move off this article here. What they're planning to do moving forward with those people who purchased it. I'm assuming it's just going away. Maybe they still have access, but it's just it's tough for me to see as someone who I can put in. Let's even say Splatoon now. Splatoon 2 servers are still up, but that game's going to be useless. It's all online. Once I have the disc, and I'm looking at just some of these streaming platforms that we're seeing up, on the monitor, between Stadia that's shutting down, the Razer Edge that's 5G that was just announced. Is that going to lag? I mean, all those live services games that are on there, all the games that you stream on it, what if something happens to the Razer Edge? I mean, what platform is that going to use? So I think that's something, when you're going to purchase a game, I think that we need to really look at. If it's a game that you really want, you should get it. I mean, there's nothing that should hold you back, but I know me personally, that's why I try to gear towards physical copies. Even though you still get like the Splatoons that are useless, or even the old Call of Duties. I mean, you look at a lot of those. Besides, if they don't have a campaign anymore, they're kind of useless once they shut down the servers. So I think it's just something that, looking back, and I appreciate about the retro gaming aspect. As much as I love to play a lot of modern games, and I do collect for those as well, I think the retro games, it's just so easy to pop in a game cartridge and just play it, versus a lot of this Stadia, the streaming service, even some of the consoles now where you plug it in and have to update it right away. So, I just really wanted to get together and have a discussion about Stadia and just say, this is driving me farther and farther away personally from streaming and online service-based games. Although I love Fall Guys, that's a free-to-play game, so I still do play them, but it's just, it's a shame to see, and Google has no clue, at least what they're doing from a gaming industry perspective, clearly. So, we'll see. Maybe it evolves, and I would love to be proven wrong. So I would love for the Razer Edge 5G to come out, be similar to the Steam Deck that people love, and have it, blow up, and maybe see streaming on there. So who knows? I could very well be wrong, but it's just a fear that I see as we go, move farther away from the physical stuff. It's not really the collector part of me that's upset and nervous about it. What I'm nervous about is replayability, being able to go back and play those games. Or what if I can't connect to the internet? What if I get on a plane and I haven't updated it and I can't play the game? Stuff like that is stuff that kind of starts to bother me and worry me a little bit. So, so I just wanted to get together and talk about that. So thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Later.